Oh. Hello, Meowdy, Konnichiwa. All of the greetings. Yes, I am unmuted. Okay, cool. Thought I missed it. I rushed off to do something really quickly, because I forgot things, which is as I always do. But hey! Oh, are you trying to time yourselves out already? Yeah, we always forgore a little bit. I can't wait to forgore more things in the cases. Hello! How go? I'm here to also rhyme, apparently. I'm sure that my witty repartee will eventually fade as I lose the ability to speak once again. I feel like this game just does that to me sometimes. But it is okay. It is a good time. I have emotionally recovered from last time, mostly. And, yeah. Yeah, I have no... What is that? Don't know what that is. Haven't heard of it before. Think otherwise. I don't really have much else to say before I hop into case 3. Which I believe... Probably we're gonna be in Britain? I'm not sure. Maybe we're still in the boat. We're all in the... Wait, the Adventure of the Runaway Room. Runaway Room. Is that the precursor to, hey, your fridge is running? We're becoming British with this one. Uh-oh. My not-so-great British accent. Let's go!
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter.
Is this Wilson again?
A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this...
It's interesting how much Watson is still around despite not being around.
My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, said of the incident...
Sorry.
I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
Wait, is Watson alive? Or Wilson? Is Wilson alive? Wait a second. How could he... He died in the first case! They have capes! I'm sorry, that's just very exciting.
Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I wish that capes got back into fashion. Capes are fun. Fragrance soaps. Brian's Cocoa, the best in London.
I feel like...
Don't put down your bags, man.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
Oh.
I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Whoa. That is a really cool... Oh, those birds are trapped in here. Those poor things. The British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice's office. This is so incredibly extra. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. Also, I'm not making them British just because, like, just to help differentiate them a little bit more from everybody else.
There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree?
I don't know. How common is it to have a room in an area with, like, giant cogs? Is the Chief Justice's office normally in a clock tower?
A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from.
It's certainly, unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again?
This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain.
The Lord Chief Justice.
We had instructions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan.
But Kazuma can't.
No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity. As envoys, to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death.
Yes.
And having delivered their message, an envoy's duty is done.
So we'd have to return to Japan.
If we want to remain here in Great Britain,
I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour.
yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer.
Which is what I've been studying for the past 40 days, and only 40 days.
Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So, that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London.
Hope I'm up to scratch. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you. I don't know. Who is this Chief Justice? Oh, hi! You're tall! I think. Probably? Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Yo, pocket watches are really cool too. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around. Dude, that sounds like such a low blow, but I also know that he's genuine. But oh man, we're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. Male, like Maelstrom? Is that the pun with your name? And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Isn't the popular, like, thing that mice scare elephants? I'm surprised it wasn't cat. Okay.
Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse!
Did you hear my thoughts? It's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London. Are there more birds? Are those the same birds? I'm gonna assume they're the same birds and they're just lost in here like it's a Costco. Oh, I shouldn't have brought that up. The capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes, thank you. I feel like I'm going to get whacked with the cane. Oh wait, can I... Hold on, can I examine the room? Ooh, I can. What's up with this suit of armor? Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room.
I believe yes, they're suits of armor.
Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates.
No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know? That's just common knowledge. And they roam around in the middle of the night.
Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Miss Susato? What is this book?
This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask.
Where did she get that incredible tome? Yeah. Where did she? Got questions. Just look at all the naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling. Wow, I have a quip about everything they're saying, but what ceiling? What ceiling are you talking about?
And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream.
Yes, a very bad dream.
They're not all about British law, either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland.
What about Russia?
Why do you ask?
I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice about how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think?
I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned.
Too soon, man. Is this some kind of clock?
Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive, even.
It's, eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean.
Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they?
I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size. And I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Let's see, anything else? We are in a clock. Oh right, I can drag this around probably.
This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble.
Looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me.
I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here.
I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure.
That's neat. I think that's everything to look at. Alright. Hey, do you want to see my badge? Oh, wait! Oh! I don't have a badge anymore! I'll present this, though, I guess. Lord Strongheart, may I show you this? To accept this item, issue a receipt, examine it thoroughly, and make a formal statement of my findings. Forgot about that. Would require something in the region of 24 seconds of my time. Sorry? Does the item warrant 24 seconds of my time, Mr. Naruhodo? Let's leave it for now. I think we just spent 24 seconds talking about it. Side note, if you ever get the chance to look at like the inside of a pocket watch, like a legit one, not one that's like a what is it, that's battery powered, they're gorgeous. Beside the point. Anyway, London. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help! I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city.
It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo?
No?
We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say, I'm almost lost for words.
I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded.
Oh, yes! Astounded is the word.
Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san.
And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we'll be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Oh. Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. And those birds are still lost. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Oh shoot, I was gonna make that reference joke thing. Bleh. Alright. So, got a lot of things to tell you. An eventful ride here. 1850. Huh. Well, that's neat. Although, I guess there are some inconsistencies given the whole, like, there wasn't a Supreme Court, question mark? But I don't know about that history. Lord Chief Justice. Well, we'll get there. I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Well, you got an English major instead. Close enough, right? Absolutely. Mr. Kazuma Asugi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man— oh, okay, they already know. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news.
Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
What do you have to say, madam?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Oh, good. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo. This is it then. Moment of truth. Huh. That's interesting. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. I'm gonna get attacked, I feel like. Is this something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? If there is someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... no one at all! Not a single person! Sorry, bye! Nah. I wish I could say Susato, but, I don't think that... I think the sexism is too strong in this culture, so it'll have to be me. It's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say? And yet, you still claim to be a lawyer. I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. Okay, but don't downplay it. You were in the highest court. You were in secret court. Can you talk about that? We didn't sign anything, but... And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asoki's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself. No, you sound anxious as heck, dude. But I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. I feel like... Okay, I feel like this is an excuse, honestly. I think that the only reason he's giving me a chance is because he knows something about what Kazuma wanted to do that we still don't. He reacted to that. Also, it looks like he has an arrow on his, like, upper arm that's pointing to his shoulder, and I can't unsee that. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? Part of me wants to just grab my pocket watch now and just flip it anyway. You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asoki planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Oh, cool. We don't know what he planned to do. Well, yes, that's my intention. Oh, water? What are we doing here? More like, I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? I'm pretty sure that Kazuma's still carrying us. It is because of him that we are allowed to do this at all. So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? That seems unfair to the defendant, yeah? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. And they don't already have an attorney? Oh. Why? No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet. So, this will be welcome news. Today?
Straight away?
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. Do you know if this person is not guilty? 'Cause, like, you know, just because I defend them doesn't mean they're necessarily... Like, I should believe in them. Yes, that is true. But, like, from your perspective... okay. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations?
Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Murder, probably. Yeah, and prosecutors are lawyers. I don't know what's going on. Yes, good question. Ah, I remember. A good lawyer has to have 100% has to have a 100% win record, regardless of whether their clients are obviously guilty or not. That's how it works, obviously. According to Von Karma, that's how it works, right? It's a murder trial. Oh, yeah. We knew. I feel like that's the only trial that we're gonna, type of trial we're gonna be doing.
Murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. Oh, good. It's gonna be incredibly complex. Okay. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law.
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life.
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. So, the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. A waste of time. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? Today when? Today in 5 minutes or today in like 5 hours? Are we gonna have time to read the case over? Of course not. We're the ancestor of Phoenix, right? There's no way we're gonna be able to read the case. We're just gonna have to wing it all. What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Can I say no? You know what? I'll save, and then we can see what that does. I just hope it doesn't immediately game over us. Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it, I can't get the words out. Okay, cool. We're not allowed. 15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. You're too slow! So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Oh shoot, did it just game over us? Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo? I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do?
It's alright. I understand.
You do?
It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Oh, we love her. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his client in court day after day. But for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Honestly, I could respect that, yeah. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that...
Oh, thank you for the follow.
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him.
What?
At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. That's so weird if it's simple. Like, he said it was a simple case. Why would no one take it? Is it because of who's prosecuting? And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful! But that is the truth. A strong heart... You know, like... You know what? This deserves that too. You know, like... Nya. Wow, that is incredibly cursed. Amazing. Could be that the defendant is too poor? Maybe. That's possibly the case. I'm sure he'll tell us, or someone is gonna tell us at some point. Oh well, or she could ask.
Why does it have to be like this?
Please don't expect an answer to every question. Oh, okay, we don't get to know. Never mind. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. And I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh,
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. I think enjoy is not gonna be what we're gonna be doing. For a second, I thought she was gonna be like, what's up with those birds in the background? They've been circling around here for so long. I think they're exhausted.
he's gone.
The Old Bailey.
Also, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once.
Alright, well, anything else to say? What to do? I think it's just go! She's gonna flip us. Oh no, she's gonna fight us right now. Miss Susato, can I just ask you something?
Careful. From this position, I can perform a Susato takedown in an instant.
I know.
Mr. Naruhodo, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will.
You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom.
If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go. Let's move. I don't want to get thrown. Not today. Don't need a concussion before the trial. Oh, that guy has a mustache. Good for him. Alrighty. Hey, do you think that the defendant is gonna be like a Larry Butts ancestor? That'd be funny.
Oh, thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. Do I have the case notes? No, I don't.
I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose.
Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly.
I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege.
Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started.
Yes, I suppose there's that.
Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all.
It's the officer. It's the guy with the mustache. Or maybe we've been framed for a murder again. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if it was Giselle Brett and we had to defend Giselle Brett?
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed.
Yes. Whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
Top of the morning to you, madam! Sir? I don't know. Oh, hello! Willy Wonka? Are we defending?
What are yous doing following me here? Tings are fair desperate, are they?
Ah! Oh no, now I get to do a bad Cockney accent! Uh-oh. That's gonna be a wide variety of me messing this up. Cool. Sorry?
Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the East, are yous? Are yous?
We're from Japan, yes.
Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need?
Okay, what do you mean? No, we're just here because...
No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land.
Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet. No.
'Tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now.
1,000 guineas?
Please, Mrs. Sato, you don't have to shout.
But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What?
There's nothing to me at all.
I'm so bad at this. It's just gonna be a horrible Frankenstein amalgamation of accent.
Like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see.
The struggle is adorable, gotcha. You know what, this guy seems like a con man, maybe his accent is fake. Copium.
I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over.
Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Oh, I have been attacked. Oh, wait, no, that actually...
That hit me in the eye. Ow.
Oh, it's not even a proper Cockney accent written. It felt weird. It felt really weird. So I'm just gonna... It's gonna be all over the place.
Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Ooh.
Ooh. Oh...
To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock.
Oh.
So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but it's just a little detail now.
Oh, well, the thing is...
Don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all.
Oh, what the heck was that? It's so bad, it's so bad. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up.
I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial?
Bluster and blazes, do yous not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names.
No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see.
I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park.
Sorry, a park? What?
It's called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did.
An entire park in central London?
These two are so gullible.
A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old queer?
Sure. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary.
But now they've the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya?
Alright, don't pass out.
Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath.
Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, We're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'd be...
What was I have to say? What was I have to say, you daft idiot?
Uh-huh!
I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I?
Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you.
I think I see what's going on here.
Sorry.
I know what you're thinking. This chancellor of a fella claims to have more money than the queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't the eye of the finest blah, blah, blah,
I almost said magician and I don't know why.
the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well,
Well, no. No? Not at all, although it is a little strange, to be honest. Why don't you have a lawyer, I mean?
that would be the fault of the reaper.
The fucking what? Excuse me? That would be the personification of death itself! You know, on my way to the gallows, just fighting the Grim Reaper. Sorry, did he just say Reaper?
I, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barrack von Zeeks.
He's the prosecutor. Barrack von Zeeks. Is that like Von Karma? I don't know, it's just because there's a V in there.
The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper?
Oh, don't you Reaper kid it me.
When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused as sacrificial lambs.
Well, that's terrifying.
And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned.
What?
So it's reached a desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fellow at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey.
Wait, didn't something like that happen in the original game? I can't... Was it with Edgeworth? Or was that Von Karma that had that, like, reputation that no one wanted to just, like, go against them? I think it was Edgeworth, right?
Goodness, Lord Barrack von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then.
Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's, cursed.
Cursed? What on earth?
The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin.
His counsel. Oh, that would be me.
Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down.
But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened.
Till you showed your face here. I'd made up my mind, so I had.
Sorry?
I decided I have to defend myself in there.
How would that have worked?
But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please.
I won't, but I need to know what happened. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. Barristers had the cab rank rule. They didn't usually get the option of backing out of representing a client. Huh. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I mean, they have a Supreme Court, so maybe the law's different too.
Mr. Naruhodo.
The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen.
Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand.
I'll be right there. Alrighty, let's do it. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. Hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Kazuma standing to the side, shaking his head like, how do you keep getting into these situations? Dude. Oh, there we go. Ooh, what does the courtroom look like? Oh, fire! Well, that's very dramatic. The Old Bailey courtroom. Repurposed from an old church, given the stained glass windows. Whoa! Oh, shoot! Wait, is it a judge, or... So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. Well, he studied British law for 40 days. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan.
It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair.
Wow, that shadow back there looks so creepy. The guy with the hat behind the pillar, but I'm pretty sure it's just some of the jury members. Burger or taco? Buy one, get one free. I don't know. If you want to have 2 burgers.
May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes. What? Oh, dude, he's so nervous.
Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again.
Oh, poor guy. I know, but I just can't help it. I'm sorry. Santa? So, in this courtroom, we are defending Willy Wonka from a vampire in front of Santa Claus. I'm really sorry. It just... Okay, cool. I'm not the only one who saw that. Awesome. I can't... Yeah, no, not the Grim Reaper. That's just straight up Dracula. He has the pallor of his skin. Can I accuse him of witchcraft? Oh, I'm sorry. It's Father Christmas. I didn't realize. My mistake. Well,
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
what do I do for this guy? Menacing, I guess. I don't know. We're not in Salem. Witchcraft. Dang it. Shoot. The prosecution is fully prepared. I don't know. Just like me. Yeah, the prosecution is fully prepared. I shouldn't do that. This guy should. I should take this guy seriously, right? Oh man, that must be the Reaper of the Bailey. Waluigi! I can make him Waluigi, I guess. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Why? Oh, whoa! The prosecution is fully prepared. Ooh.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English?
Oh god, that again. Yes, of course. Sorry. Well, I'll just stick with that until things get more serious, then I'll change it. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me. Nipponese. Nipponese. The toad cat. No! Oh, 3 seconds. Let me go and take my mandatory health break as dictated by Twitch, and I will be right back to continue with Waluigi Zeeks. Zeeks? Zykes? Eh. I will be right back, though. Hey, yeah. I also have water. Oh, I got back here pretty quickly, actually. Should I turn off the staring into your soul thing? Does that bother you guys too much? Don't keep it? Okay. Because I could change it to, like, I don't know, just like looking like I've deactivated when I leave the frame. The expression that's on my... That is not an expression that is a toggle. That was just me doing like... It doesn't need to be a toggle. If I'm surprised enough, I'll be like, whoa. Something I've also learned with my model is that, like, I really... like, watching back VOD stuff, like, I really do move my eyes around a lot. I cannot keep my eyes still, apparently. That's a fun thing to realize. Imagine making eye contact despite the fact that there are no eyes to be looking at, even. Well, I'm just outing myself, really. Also, I think I came up with, like, possibly, like, a more serious voice for this guy, besides the Waluigi. Maybe? Possibly? Allegedly. I'll try something. I'll try it out, and I can swap between, like, the silly and the serious. Dang, all of the jury are wearing top hats. Actually, no. Some of them are not wearing top hats. One of them is not wearing a top hat. Weird thing to notice. Yeah, one has a sun hat. There's no sun in here, though. If there was, then he'd be, you know, disintegrating. Because he's a vampire. Put him to the vampire. Alright, I think we are good to continue. So. Well, they shroud your fear. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. Like, maybe something like that. Possibly. Still kind of nasally, so I don't know. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Yeah, you're right. Scar would be a good voice for this guy. Ugh, cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. Also, okay, one of the few things I do know about this game, besides the amazing music, is that guy's, like, slamming the desk animation is really great. If you know, you know. You'll see. I won't spoil it.
Now, Mr. McGilded.
Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
McGilded looking at the judge like, you and I both know I don't have a choice.
As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to have to give opportunities to the young.
I will say, it might not be racism in this case, just because it's like, you know, foreigner might not have the country's laws. Like, they might not know the country's laws, possibly. And that's all. I'm trying to, I'm trying to find a way where it isn't the racism. It probably is, honestly.
Even if the fella's a student from some little island off in the Far East.
Okay, yeah, no, that's the racism.
Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance?
Oh, yeah, okay. I take back everything I said. Oh god, we get put in the British Museum! No!
I'd like to think that acts of chivalry to do the great British Empire proud.
Listen to Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day?
Mother, please, may we go and play in the Gilded Park?
It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded.
That's definitely welcome news. And he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Wait, then who are the people? Oh, shoot, we just have audience members on the side? It's just up to these 6 people? Why does that guy have a knife? Is that allowed? Are we allowed to bring weapons? Maybe we have Cosmo's sword. Are we allowed? Do we have it with us right now? Yeah.
Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree.
Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. Uh-huh. Fair enough. Lucky horseshoe, huh? Oh, you have resting derpy face.
Feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, dear dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson.
Mr. Naruhodo, those people are...
The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet.
That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So, the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view.
But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but... I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses.
Also, the judge saying, you are here to be impartial. 3 of them already saying, yeah, I'm gonna take out the trash. I'm gonna convict this guy. That's so impartial. Very impartial. Yes.
Prosecutor Van Zieks.
My lord.
It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame.
I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. Is it because you're a bat? Because you're a vampire?
So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware?
Oh? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So, the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Oh yeah, we definitely still have the sword. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback?
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. Oh, wow, scroll. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry, Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
No! The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, Counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Alright. Internal hemorrhaging as a result of the stab wound. And he has a hat! I'm sure that'll be important. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are... Oh, good lord! Is that blood, Counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGildered's gloves had blood on them? Did we test for blood? Are we sure that it is blood?
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
Are we sure that it's blood, though? How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started. DNA test? Well, not necessarily DNA test for, like, whose blood is it? I meant, like, luminol testing just to see if it is blood. Maybe it's, like, cranberry juice. I don't know. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other... Whoa, what a... Okay, so we've got a JoJo vampire. I guess this is just Dio. Was the accused Magnus McGilded.
Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing.
What? Mr. McGilded.
To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting so it is, and when I open my eyes again... 'Twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach?
Okay, so it is blood.
I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So, the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Dio was gifted a sub a couple streams ago. It was foreshadowing this whole time. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? Okay, it wasn't this slam, but it was, just wait, I swear, he has a cooler slam. There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Okay, cool. How? Wait, how would there have been witnesses if there were only 2 people and the driver on the bus?
Order! Order! Order!
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Man, what a wild night at 10 p.m. to have seen that happen.
Thank you, Counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. Oh! You're so cold. Oh. Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is... Well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Hey, really random thing to point out. The gloves that have blood on them look exactly like Beppo's gloves. Like, color, the 3 little marks on the back. Maybe I'm just already pointing fingers, but I don't know. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. First. Lady first? Ladies first? That's your name?
My name's First, Lady First. I, make hats for gents.
Speculation, yeah. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct? Wait, what? How? A different bus?
Yes, sir.
What did I do again? Quite right.
Yes, sir, that's right, sir.
Very well then, let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Wait, how could there have only been 2 people on there if the witnesses were also on there? Like, the driver I get. The driver was, allegedly there.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
Why do you have a whip?
Huh? Why do you have a whip?
Is everyone in this courtroom armed? Including us, but really?
Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Horse carriage. Oh, that's right! Yeah, sorry, I heard bus, and I forgot that they don't have... Yeah, it would be a horse, wouldn't it? Oh, that poor thing. On the other hand, I still think it's really weird that allegedly there were only 2 people on the bus, but there were also 2 other people on the bus. Okay. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel.
Well, this testimony, makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As had been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could those 2 witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. Okay, cool. Same point as me, actually. But they're about to point out something that we don't know that is obvious to everyone else. Okay. Oh, quaint. I've read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? I got here today! Yes, I am! Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you ever traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is. What do you mean? The actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably, you understand that much. Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff. Bring forth the stricken omnibus. Nope, not a photo. I think it's just, yep, it's just the whole thing. Ah, gotcha. Killed on the second floor. So, that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are, amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. Four passengers seated inside in the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and size are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Oh, okay, so they were on the bus on the second floor and the thing that happened was inside the carriage. Okay. Ah, a skylight. Oh! The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. That makes, perfect sense.
Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. All right, Judge Father Christmas.
Very well, I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
All right. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence.
Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary.
Could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here. Oh! I think that's a sign as any to take a look. Alright.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
The scene of a murder. It's horrible. Oh, I can look at it. Hello? I can turn around. Ooh. So was someone hiding in the trunk? Okay, so this is where it happened. That's blood that soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Do you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark. And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Wait, is there something more to say? It didn't get checked off. That's blood that's soaked into the seat, the victims obviously.
Yes.
Oh, nope, that's the same. Oh. Weird. What's this? Oh, that's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Oh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
Oh, I can actually look straight up. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin, at least. Can we go find Best? Probably not. Wait, can I open that? The seat has a handle, it seems. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. Or horseshoeing tools, so it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passenger to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
Okay. That's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. Oh, wait. Huh. Are these both about that? Oh, I guess so. I think that's all I can look at in here. Okay. We can probably leave now.
Have you seen enough? Well, let's step back outside then.
Back into the void we go! Oh, why are these reversed? Wow, I really can't look at anything here, huh? Okay. Well, anything on the back? 418. The Phoenix Wright Omnibus? Objection?
So, this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
So, people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights when the cold air is rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so.
I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late.
Okay. Is this still just the roof or... Nope. Nope, it is. Okay. It's a different angle though, which is neat. I'm guessing that it's just... Okay. We can see that this seat... They had to have been in this seat. You can actually see it pretty clearly. Yeah, interesting. Probably something that'll come into play later. Okay. Can I examine these two? Ooh, that's the blood stain. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Well, nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed?
Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier.
Pity. If only he'd been left-handed.
I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
Nothing else of note. Okay. We can't look at the skylight? No, it doesn't seem like it. Not from the outside, anyway. I can check again, but I don't... Like... Oh, wait, maybe? Oh, shoot, we can! You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us.
Oh, thank you!
Yep, and that is the right spot. Thrice-fired mason. Yeah, this won't help me at all. Okay.
Let us continue with proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
Pray, don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. All right, my first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus. Just dropped a dagger on them. Yeah, because they did point out that you couldn't open the skylight from the inside. It had to have been from the outside. What the witnesses saw. Alright, time to press everything! That's not the right button. Press. Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold it was, sir. Freezing, in fact.
And you had 4 passengers on board at the time. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, sir. That's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, of course, though. No. There were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example. Oh, you're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none.
So, nobody fled the scene of the crime then?
I have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does every evening, that last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spend that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again.
Aw, poor guy.
Hold it!
And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage.
That's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view.
Oh, shoot. Is the thing not working? Oh no! Why did it stop? Well, let me... There. Don't know why that happened.
The 2 of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded.
What do you mean? Have you seen McGilded's freaking outfit? White gloves, wears the yellow scarf. What do you mean? Are you blind? This guy's a Willy Wonka, yellow scarf, pink bow tie, magenta suit. What do you mean? I mean, not that we would know what he's seeing in his mind's eye, but like, so incorrect. How can you be so sure?
Well, how can I put it politely? McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else.
Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. Yeah, so the perpetrator was absolutely in the, under the seat. They were hiding there. There was no room for doubt here. I really wish there was. There is room for doubt. They were hiding, especially if they were small. Small in stature, with only half of the trunk space to fit. Ooh. But that's not for now. I can't do anything about that information right now.
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment it happened.
Didn't I already testify to that? Or are fair dinkum hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days?
No. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I did. This is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's...
My lord.
I don't remember what I did for him.
Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up.
Made up about what?
I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them.
What? What was that? Did you just knock over your chair, or... Why is there fire? I thought they were gonna pull out gavels. I'm not gonna lie. What? That little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. What in the actual heck? Hey, is this how courts are run in Britain? Do they throw fireballs into the X Factor? I didn't realize we were gonna be pulling a Mario and just tossing fireballs into the bigger fire.
Alright. There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter. Anyway.
That is precisely what I was about to say. But as the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
Impartial, my ass. What is happening here?
Let me see. Ah, yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago.
So, if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, now I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare. I don't like it when the jury casts fireball. Alright. He stabbed him, you say. And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats.
I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly, that huge great knife.
A grim sight indeed.
That didn't help me at all. The jury looks like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before.
That appears to have made everyone even more dubious than that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First.
Oh, yes, sir.
Is this the knife that you saw?
Oh, good grief, yes, that's it. The very one, sir.
Is that... Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
That is a blade of considerable size, counsel.
It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Oh, please, no. M for Magnus, perhaps, or McGilded, possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
Oh, dude. But there are M's everywhere. Like, yes, like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. Yeah, but the point isn't that he owned it, but it's more so like, that's a little bit of a loose connection there is what he's saying. Is the accuser that is hoarding evidence this time? Well, they're presenting it, I guess, but, No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. And for oh wait, hold on. I mean, we have Phoenix Wright for the carriage, so maybe it's Miles Edgeworth. blade edges? I don't know. They're worth a lot, probably. That was a very bad one.
Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, Counsel.
Alright, well, we did need that. Probably.
Oh, heck, really?
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Oh, juror number 2, go on.
Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait, what are you about to do?
Dispose of the rubbish.
That's 3. I think we lose. No.
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
Oh, yep, and there's number 4.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion.
Well,
Not again.
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who've proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
well, we've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly.
We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
But, can they take back the fire?
Alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. Just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Okay. I gotta press this one too. I haven't had anything. What exactly did you see?
Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was.
And by the passenger, obviously you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And the other passenger had that knife in his hand like this.
By the other passenger, obviously, you're referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
Wait, how could you have seen it? If they saw it from the skylight and then screamed and then you stopped, how would you have seen that happen? I have no idea what evidence to present to make that point, but that is my point. What? Like, that doesn't actually make sense in terms of the timeline.
My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too? As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me.
Stabbed him again, that's weird.
Wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself.
Granny, you're our only hope!
But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say.
No, please just keep an open mind a little.
Up now, Silverblaze, the finish is in sight.
Granny, please don't do it. Granny, please.
Pepper is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. Too kind, sir.
No, this is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agreed to condemn this man. Does it have to be unanimous?
Granny, sweet Granny, please don't do it.
Don't succumb to the peer pressure. Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Please. Oh, dear. The thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called.
Oh, cool. So you are also not impartial, but hey, at least it's in our favor this time.
A gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He is always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to the Gilded Public Library later and borrow some more books, please?
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist, Magnus McGilded, has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls. What?
Stone the crows!
McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Slandering the witness? Slandering the defendant? I don't know. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make a use of a public omnibus service? I mean, maybe he just wanted to sit on the... What if he wanted to take public transit? I don't know. You're not saying that... The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts.
Good gracious!
The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded.
I don't believe it.
If I might add something briefly,
Miss Susato?
You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim?
Oh yeah, where did the wine come from? Is he drinking wine that has a freaking Grim Reaper on it? Oh my god, this extra piece of... Also, that's absolutely blood, because he's a vampire. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law.
Oh, there it is. Lord Van Zeek's hallowed chalice.
Ah, he does this while drunk. Gotcha. How can this be considered acceptable? But I find myself in an unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh.
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time.
A marvelous toast, counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence.
Okay, I'm gonna
take a look at that.
Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that. And also this. Is that a little scratch mark? Stray pixel? Scratch mark?
That part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I, just don't really like blades.
Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist.
That's not a blade, semicolon. That's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Well, it's covered in cranberry juice. Anything else? Is that a horse emblem? That looks a lot like blood.
It surely is blood. The victim's.
Oh, an Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood.
Did you think it wouldn't?
Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. Is that an excuse? I'm finding it a little hard to adjust.
Yes, I do understand.
Okay. Nope, I can't look at that. It does look like a horse though, doesn't it? Anything else? Just the M, I guess. Wait, are we sure it's an M? It could be a W, right? I mean, what is an M if not an upside down W? An ornate letter M, undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial. Didn't he already see Wilson's blood? Yeah, but he didn't see a blade. It was a gun.
And it's beautifully gilded, too. It must be very valuable, I should think.
Oh,
What is it?
look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change it. Okay. This isn't anything. Gotcha. I will leave this particular avenue of thought behind. Fine.
A W?
Yes, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. All right. Cool, it's fine. We're back. Apparently, she's very sure that this is an M. Oh, well, that idea was quickly quashed. I guess it's an M. I'm not allowed to. Well, I am glad that they, took that out. Immediately. Let me take a look at this. Ooh. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets to London's gentry.
Oh dear. Do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes's name inside.
Well, let's see what we find. Also, I am disappointed that Sholmes is not here. I thought he would be with us, but I guess not. Next case. I should probably change the title. I didn't realize he wouldn't be here. Let's see. There we go. Mr. Sholmes starts with an M. What? How does it start with an M? Is it just the Mr.? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Goodness!
What is it?
Look at this. Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Should that... That's the name of the guy! Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment.
Oh, yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? He borrowed 20 guineas, did he? Look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Interesting. Is this why they were against him? Probably. Is it always 20 guineas? And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Granny, no! Regrettably, madam, this is the modus operandi of the accused.
And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel.
No, Granny, don't!
Still...
No!
Maybe it's all for the best.
Wait a minute. Let's think about this a little more before...
I don't stand for nonsense.
Judge Christmas, you are my only hope. That was it. The last juror's decision. Please tell me that we still have to convince the judge.
According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Oh no. That's what it says here.
Oh, the final verdict. It's over then.
Oh!
Exception?
There's a footnote, though.
A footnote?
However, the defense...
Susato, say something quickly!
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
Well, guess that's it. I guess we lose. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Objection? Objection, can you at least let me do my job? Miss Susato, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes?
You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense. What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. And the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point.
What's that? Do you know what that is from your 40 days of study? A summation examination.
Objection!
A summation examination. From which century, as at home, you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. But if it hasn't been stricken from the books, it's still applicable. So you're out of luck.
Oh.
Just saying. What even is it, Miss Susato? This so-called summation examination.
Oh, one moment and I'll read about it.
You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese.
All right, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what, exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. And changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting? Yeah, exactly. It hasn't been stricken from the books.
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Good thing we don't respect ourselves, let alone, modern practices. Summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out, or— Obviously, yes! The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
You can't object! London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried. But that's not up to you.
Objection!
What a polite objection. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial.
The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination.
This is madness.
Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Well, I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so...
Actually, before we proceed, I will take my, legally mandated, mandatory health break. So, I shall return after these messages. And, maybe grab a cough drop while I'm at it. I guess it's still there a little bit. Huh? Very menacing indeed. Also, I have obtained cough drop.
Aha!
I can't wait for this thing to have like 20 different layers to it. Also, I just noticed something that I need to fix very quickly. Oh, there it is. Oh. You know what? I am glad that I put that gotcha thing in there. As much as it's enabling all of you. We're not allowed to have actual dice luck in our actual games. We have to roll really badly when it, you know, when it, matters the most. Doop doop. Couple of seconds left. Because, June informed me that... Okay, there we go, now it works. June informed me that my, resume link on my website was broken, so I fixed that very quickly. Okay. And back to the game. That guy has a really sweaty head. He's just actually waxing his head. It's not sweat, it's just a head wax.
All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. What grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
That's the point! That's why you're here! Ugh. This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark.
That seems to have thrown the jurors off. Because they have no justification beyond I think he did it because I don't like him.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alright then. The summation examination? A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years. Is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for. To turn this trial around.
Hello!
Welcome in! We are losing badly, and we didn't even start.
So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilty, McGilty? Wait, no, hold on, no. Magnus McGilded guilty of this most serious crime. Well, ara.
Oh, that was so bad. I never want to hear Judge Father Christmas say that again. Judicial... Oh, I could barely read that word. The jurors' contentions. What's up with that flower? It's so stretchy.
There was no one else inside the garage at the time, so has to be him.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
Stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen.
I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. You can trust the guild, fair fares is our motto.
We haven't raised prices above 4p for years.
The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
Wow, that doesn't really seem like much basis. Starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now.
Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they?
Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. Have to throw everything I can at them. And use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Throw my sword! That'll work.
Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says.
But then...
They've reached their conclusion by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become.
Then what on earth am I supposed to do?
Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, we have to present evidence. Show them that their conclusions that they've drawn has flaws.
Hello, hello.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then?
Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments.
What do you mean?
Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together.
Oh, make them turn against each other. Fight, 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 fight! And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Find contradictions in their statements, and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off.
Can we start the proceedings, counsel, now that you've slapped yourself awake? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. Oh! Hi! The defense's rebuttal.
There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I don't think there's anything I can do about this one, but... Oh, I should press everything. Certainly, the testimonies we've heard suggest the victim and Mr. McGilded were alone inside the carriage.
Precisely my point.
But... could there be some other explanation? Something we haven't considered yet?
Such as?
Someone was in the trunk! Someone was under the seat! It's fine, we're not there yet. Well, perhaps that's something we could, all work out together now?
Now listen here, maybe you don't know how things work around here because you're from foreign climes. But we're here to form our opinions as individuals, and I have.
No.
Oh dear, he doesn't appear to be in the mood to consider an alternative point of view, does he?
No. I'm going to have to pit the jurors against one another, like Sasato-san said. But not this guy. This guy's just... yeah. Finding contradictions in these 6 people's assertions is the only way I'm going to succeed. Okay.
20 pence apiece.
With fares totaling 20 pence. Wait, didn't the guy say something about the... Hold on. This guy said something about it. 4 pences per person. If there were 2 people up there, 2 people down there, that's 16. And that's not quite right, but...
Hold it!
But does his ability to recall his takings that night really tell us how trustworthy the man is?
I manage all his lordship's cash affairs, so I'm very particular when it comes to accounts.
I see.
A single penny can mean the difference between life and death, after all, can't it?
That's a saying in your country?
My point is, a man who minds his figures is a man you can trust. Those of us in service would swear to that, sir.
Does that bench really need any more polishing?
So, if the good driver says that he saw Mr. McGilded in the act, I don't doubt him. The only task left to do today is disposing of the rubbish.
I think I should pit this one. No, wait a minute. Yep. One of the other jurors mentioned something about money, I think.
Now would be a very good time to listen carefully to the jurors' statements again, Mr. Naruhodo. If you notice an inconsistency in what 2 different jurors are saying,
I should expose it by pitting them against each other. Yeah, let's see if I can do just that. Alright. Yeah, this is the one. Not you. Stop stabbing her! Okay. Pit. Ooh, spotlights. Right here. I pit you against each other, for you see, I have the power of doing basic math! Ooh. Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
They do. Explain yourself, counsel.
Me? Oh, dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silverblaze's maiden name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right, I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. Literally! Ha! Or multiply. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication... Oh, hey, Christian, what's up? Have I showed my badge? I've shown my armband. I can't show my badge anymore. Joke's on all of you in chat. But yeah, have a good flight. I've replaced the badge with math. You have been forced to learn.
It would be 16 pence, for I do the accounting and the cash affairs.
You see, yeah, it has. If you look at the court record, we don't have it anymore. This is our new badge. Also a sword that we can't... I'm sad that we can't present the sword. If I could present the sword to everybody, I would. No hesitation. I wish I could! Alas. It's okay, everyone's armed apparently. Maybe you can challenge them to a duel. Bye-bye! Let's see. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare. Dun dun dun.
1 person's fare.
Yes. In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about. Look at this cool sword. It has my friend's soul in it.
Good gracious.
Yeah, 2 possible things. Either he can't do the math, so he's not actually as trustworthy as the maid believes, or he is correct and there was another person on board, which there was.
This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good honest men, one and all. Trustworthiness is our watchword.
Or the coach is stealing money. You're right, actually.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon!
Fight! 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 Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end?
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of the scales.
Oh, cool! Fireball!
Now, hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and...
Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo!
Uh-oh. Alright, turning things around.
Oh, this is all very entertaining.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same.
Yeah, her whole argument was also deconstructed. Both of those options, you know, change everything. Nice. 2 for 1.
For the love of Mike, not you as well!
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo! You did it! If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue.
2 more, actually. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
Then that's where you must strike next.
So, I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions.
Exactly. You can do it.
Let's go, let's go!
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Mr. Stabby, I don't know if I could...
I'm changing my leaning to innocent. I should like to hear what the slipshod bookkeeper has to say for himself.
Wait, what does this guy say now?
Beppo, this trial has to continue so I can get to the bottom of this corruption. Not guilty, I say.
Stabbing that poor man on the floor. Wait, hold on. It is Mr. McStabby. Yeah! It's gotta be these 2. The floor and the seat. It's gotta be. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. It seems like it.
Objection!
Yeah. Let's go! Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, post-haste.
Dearie me, I was only knitting a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim.
He stabbed the table. He stabbed the chair.
And the chair bled. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What? Can't you see I'm busy here?
Oh. Well, that seems like a you problem. How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Wanna test me, do you?
He's gonna accidentally stab the person next to him. Oh my god.
It was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said.
You're a jury, you play video games on your laptop? Well, in Ace Attorney you'd be able to get away with that, but I think in actual court you're not allowed to have electronics with you. Like, in the actual courtroom, at least.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move. Take a look at these two jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What?
Bless my stitches! What a muddle!
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh!
But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know— No, it's not Granny! I trust Granny! Granny's making a sweater, it's great! Oh god, I hope it's not Granny. Is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me.
See, we love Granny.
I can't abide people telling lies. Thank you, Granny. The scales.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Balance has been kept.
Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him. This black suit is clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this? Also, the racism is back.
Answer me this, dark jinx.
Huh? Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say, the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again. And this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that,
Well, doesn't the autopsy report say it was only one stab? Yeah. Because that's wrong. Also, yeah, they are casting magic. That's true. Or they have really good aim. Listen, red pandas are very important. I understand.
Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you.
They're ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? No. Did the two witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? No. It's just wrong. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you dark jinx? Come on, out with it!
What's with the scale? What's with the fire? Oh, that's just how they cast their verdicts, which is crazy. They throw fireballs into the big fire to tip the scales. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
Well, what are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
Gladly. Looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable, hard evidence. As you wish. I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. As proven by the autopsy results. I am not doing that. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once.
Only once?
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen 2 different times. Alright, I concede defeat. Oh shoot, Stabby McStabberson is on our side! Well, not necessarily, but, you know, we convinced him. I wasn't expecting to convince Stabby. Not gonna lie. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won!
Well, we've, you know, extended the court, session.
What are you playing at, you dandy fool?
Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me.
We had a consensus.
I said shut your trap! I know a liar when I see one. If the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop.
I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head.
Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority along the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue.
Why is he licking his knife? Because he's oh, he's still licking it! Oh, please stop.
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Oh. What a circus.
So, Lord Van Zieks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. Substantiate, if you will.
Stop drinking blood in the courtroom. Yeah? Gonna throw it or something? Oh! I wasn't expecting it to smash in his hand. Okay. All right. All over your white gloves, sir? Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Did you reduce it to atoms? Holy shit. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. Yeah, I guess his hand is okay if he atomized the glass.
Lord Van Zieks!
So cold in here, is it just me? As your antiquated tone no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the Yeah, sure, mock the jury. That'll get him on your side. Well, no matter. There was nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Vla! Oh shoot! He's shed his vampirism! Bring forth the witnesses once more. Just throws the cape onto one of the witnesses. Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure.
Yes, sir. That I did, sir.
Of course I heard it. Oh, yes, sir, I heard it.
You, sir, on the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo? Yes, sir, my lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Oh, mio Dio. Dio! He's a part of this after all. Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination. Sono Dio da. No Dio da. Okay. I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it. But
Well, I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. He fiddled us on the fare, he did, and then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much. I tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I say before stands.
oh yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes. Counsel, make sense of this for me, please. The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage. Cousinage? I mean, just, you know. He's gonna get fired for this no matter what. Vero, explain yourself! I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster. The Guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare? It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. I'm sorry. You're a disgrace, Beppo, a disgrace. And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild. Dishonor on your horse.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
Oh, wow, what? What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence.
Wait, you're not British. Oh my god.
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
No, that figures.
Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense. Your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games.
Absolutely. Because screw you, that's why. Time to press everything.
Well, we know what this one was. I don't think we're gonna... I'll press everything.
Hold it!
Who's the defendant? Willy Wonka. So, there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right?
It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold. It was all I could do to stop myself passing out.
I'm getting chilblains just listening to you.
It was terrible, so I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger?
You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night. Then we would have had another suspect.
Hold it!
Does that mean that everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4?
Well, I paid 5 pence too, sir.
And I just told you that I did.
A flat fare of 5 pence across the board.
It's not something to be proud of.
The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort.
Much like the phantom killer you so desperately needed. It's gone. Dead and buried. I'd have been happy if it had ever existed in the first place. Is his name Fairplay? Yes, it is.
Hold it!
This blood-curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume?
Yes, sir.
Loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken.
Oh, well, not exactly, sir.
I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed.
Good gracious, really?
We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant.
I heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath, see? That's when I looked through the glass.
That's when I saw that horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood.
Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating.
Hold it!
So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilded, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was standing next to him. Sitting next to him.
That's what I said, isn't it?
It was bothering me before. This was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question.
Anyway, there was only the two of them inside the carriage, wasn't there?
There's been much talk of a fifth passenger, but as yet, zero evidence.
Then what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty.
Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. Wish I could work out what it was. Well... Is there anything in here? Wait. Potentially? Because there was a lantern, definitely. I'm gonna press this last one first.
Hold it!
Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right.
You said that the victim was on the floor, and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose. I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe. What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck.
Oh, I expect that was me, sir.
Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes, and the fellow holding the handle was a famous man, yes.
So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all.
I really thought that I did, but
How did he see it through the skylight? I think he said that he stopped the carriage and then looked through the skylight because his seat is on top of it, the carriage that is, so he would be able to turn around and look through the skylight.
But when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the...
Hey! How's it going? What are you doing to your cane, buddy? I don't think it's supposed to bend like that. Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh?
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Some days are like that! Do I have anything that would prove that, though? I don't know if I actually have any proof. What if I said that? That'd be funny. Wait, let me see. What did he say? He didn't really see. What are the chances of that? The layout of the omnibus? It's weird because, like, how could he have actually seen it if you already saw it happen? If they already saw it, screamed, and then got his attention, it wouldn't be the exact moment, but I don't know if the game is gonna let me say that. Because the game is sometimes fickle like that. We'll see. I personally think it's not possible. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on top of an omnibus, that is.
Thank you for the follow.
If you know this case, probably best to not say anything.
Peeping? I'm a respectable, shitty banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. It's a grim scene, I don't mind telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairplay.
Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord.
I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw.
Cool, I've goaded him into it. Oh, I could do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed the man?
So the glove only has, like, a little bit of blood on it? I don't think I need to press this. It's just... There's just, like, a blood-soaked? Yeah?
Objection!
Yeah, okay. Blood-soaked. Hands?
Well, I admit that soak might be laying it on a little thick, but...
But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay. But that's more than a little peculiar. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
Oh, yes, right.
And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove.
Why is he eating it like a woodpecker?
He's like a squirrel. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
But no, that can't be right. So you're the liar here then? That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands.
Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth? It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one. But the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Fine. I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? Oh hey, we have evidence.
Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely.
I know what this is! Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. I have it! My lord.
Yes, counsel.
I have no evidence! The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yes. Evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony.
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to prevent its evidence.
Yeah, just no evidence, no more evidence allowed.
To present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Bam! Take that! This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims, crippled by the accused's extortion. The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused?
No, well, it's barely but worthy of being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
Well, what of it?
Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist?
Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw, in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant?
Order! 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 Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, okay. We're acknowledging that he's biting his cane.
Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you, or did you not, see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
That's not an answer. Yes or no? Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
All right, now let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch.
A pinch.
But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGilded's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
So you keep saying. I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens.
Seeing what?
The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands.
I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. Wow, that's good. That means that there's another person. What? No, that's not a bad thing. We have evidence that the defendant only has blood on one glove, and we knew that he was wearing gloves. This means that there was someone else who was there who had blood on both hands. If both of them are, attesting to this, they just couldn't see clearly who it actually was. That's not. Why is he acting like this is a bad thing? This is helpful. Yeah, it's either it's not McGilded or it got swapped, which seems a little improbable. I'm waiting for them to say that it was white gloves or something, because, yeah.
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
He's gonna keep everyone after class.
Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. What the witnesses really saw.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them.
I didn't actually see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or you all would have seen.
Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated.
I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case.
Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord. This will surely be the final— okay, they didn't say that this time. Yeah, I believe you. I genuinely believe you. No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record.
I'm well aware of that, sir, but nevertheless, I know what I saw and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands.
He's defiant, even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw. But why? Your reasoning is dire. One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers. I don't think so. That probably isn't gonna help us here. I'm trying to see if one of them mentions, like, glove color. I might also have to go to the omnibus one, just to be like, oh, there's nowhere you could have hid. Well, there's the seat, which I did find. You definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands.
Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. McGilded's gloves has any sign of blood on it.
That's right.
The thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGilded sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir.
He wasn't wearing these gloves?
That's correct, sir, and I saw the blood on both his bare hands quite clearly.
It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see. I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGilded's gloved hands. There wasn't blood on his hands?
This is puzzling indeed.
This must be significant somehow, I'm sure of it. That's a bit weird. Okay, yeah, you're not important anymore, Beppo, I'm sorry. Okay, this might be it.
Hold it!
And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus.
That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh, yes, I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place.
Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin.
Why not?
It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door.
It was locked?
That's right, and it's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. If my name isn't fair play!
Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below.
Well, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down, I was glaring, long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed.
I don't think so. Unequivocal, I would say. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because that angle only shows the two seats where the two seats up there, not the other side. No. Like, we saw that earlier when we were looking through the skylight. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. Yeah, it's only 2 of the 4 seats. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you.
What? By golly, really?
Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh.
Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly is the omnibus are you saying that this potential extra passenger could have been situated?
Well, I mean, this is where they were sitting. This is where they were watching. It'd be right here.
Take that!
Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other. Which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here.
Ooh, we're drawing on it!
Oh,
That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on which the victim and the attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it.
Objection!
It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. It was Sholmes! You're right! He shows up in the most unexpected of places.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel.
That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude. Can you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yeah, because it would have been McGilded who sat on the side that wasn't seen. I honestly don't know. Who could it have been?
Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck?
I think it's Gilded. I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. Okay, Vampire Edgeworth. A toast to hard lessons not yet learnt. Oh yeah, the glass is back. He reconstructed it from the atoms that he disintegrated. I assume he did that with the drink too.
Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was Willy Wonka! The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Mr. McGilded?
What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant!
Yeah, it is.
Objection!
Sorry, what? Well, he didn't atomize this well. Okay. If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. I'm surprised that the fire didn't go out. Or break, actually.
Lord Van Zeeks!
People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. Bit dramatic. This guy came into court with a cape. Very dramatic. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. Okay then, back to this. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwaters such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong. What? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, counsel?
The gloves. The defendant's gloves, my lord.
Brr!
Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains. The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear. that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on the passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party? I don't know! Obviously, the true culprit, who I don't know.
Extraordinary. Order! 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 What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense's postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. Their witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them, though.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters too tend to notice such things, sir.
And, what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
I did not notice. I'm afraid I don't remember.
And you call yourself a hatter? A mad hatter? The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin. How can you be sure? Because if there had been, the accused, Mr. McGilded, would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact. But he was asleep. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled. He was asleep! He said that himself! He just doesn't remember because he wasn't awake. He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it. The hat he had was drugged! I don't know.
Order! There is clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand.
Well, what say you, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord.
On what grounds?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police. But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely? Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? Ooh, boy. Well, we maintain that he has a reason, so I'm gonna do it. We need all the information we can get. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. Raises his hand. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury.
Yes, I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say.
Get the man out here, I say! It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Yeah, sure.
Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Nice. I think that is a good place to stop for today. amid the hubbub before we bring the guy out. I have a feeling it's gonna take me to a black screen after this, but it's fine. I'm not gonna chance it.
This is a good place to stop.
So, let me see who I can raid. I'm also out of snoozes for the ad, so I've been pushing it off as long as I could. We can go and raid. We can go and raid Sam. Sam Slade, also fellow voice actor. Can go and raid her. And yeah. Let me switch over to end screen. Haha! I remembered on my own. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm a little bit on the clock because of the ad break, but it's fine. I'll be able to do this in time. I will be back on, not Monday. I actually have something to do that day, unfortunately. But I'll be back on Wednesday for sure. I might see about doing a stream on Sunday. It wouldn't be this, just because, like, it's not my usual time, so I don't want to, like, you know, spring it, when people aren't used to that particular schedule. Is that just my excuse every time now? Just, oh yeah, I'm just picking up everyone from the airport collectively. I'm just picking up the airport itself. Just, boop. But yeah, I might do something on Sunday. I'm not sure. Don't count on it. I'll have to see how I'm feeling. I am the airplane. You're right. That's how I can carry the airport. But I'll definitely be back on Wednesday for more of Great Ace Attorney. And, let's see. Yeah, shoot, I think that's about it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We've managed to start turning this thing around. I'm pretty sure the guy was in the friggin' trunk, and I'm surprised we haven't brought it up yet, but nah, it's fine. So, yeah, take care and have a good weekend. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, I'm good at ending things. Alrighty, take care everybody and have a good one. Bye-bye!